This is Jeff Lindsay. You are checking out Shabooty on Shabooty.com.
This call is now being recorded.
Hey, Jeff.
Cool. Hi, Shabooty.
Yeah, what's up, man? How you doing?
Oh, I guess I'll live. How you doing?
Good. I'm excited to talk to you.
Well, all righty then.
And apparently I went on Facebook and I was like, yeah, I'm interviewing, Jeff Lindsay, creator Dexter, and then like 6 or 7 chicks replied to the status message. So apparently the women love you too.
Really? My wife thinks that every time I step out of the house, I got like Victoria's Secret models waiting to kidnap me, but I haven't seen it yet. Maybe I'm imposing in person.
I don't know, man. They're probably at home with their saran wrap waiting for you.
Oh, man. I can't wait. I'm out. You tell me where to meet them.
True. One thing we have in common is we're both Howard Stern fans, so I was wondering, how long have you been listening to Howard Stern?
Well, it was back before satellite, and a buddy of mine said, hey, did you hear Stern this morning? I said, come on, I don't. It was, the media view of him. I said, come on, I don't listen to that shit. And he said, oh, so you've never listened? I said, no, why would I? I said, well, listen and then decide, which is something I've said my whole life, don't decide until you know. And I went, okay, busted. So I listened, and the first show I heard was the interview he did long ago with the president of NAMBLA, North American Man-Boy Love Association. Yeah. And I thought it was maybe the best interview I ever heard. So I started listening, and I don't regret it. I don't always laugh at the fart jokes, but other than that, I love it.
Yeah. The way I kind of got into it was like no one told me to check it out. It was just one of the things when I was a teenager. Like we had an ice storm, and the only thing that worked was my Walkman. So then I just turned on the Walkman, and then this is when he was syndicated in D.C. And then I just randomly heard him on my Walkman one day, when the power was out during the ice storm. And then after that, I was hooked.
Right.
But
do you remember what it was?
I don't remember the episode, but it was during the Jackie days. But it was just one of the things where it's like after one episode, just laughing, and then I was like, okay, you get sucked in.
But it's funny how that happens. And it's true, everybody has this opinion of him based on what the media have said. And I think, if you listen once and form your own opinion, you're more than likely you're going to, enjoy it.
True. Now I'm going to get to some Dexter stuff. That's cool.
Great.
I haven't read the book, but I was wondering, like, as far as the TV show and the book, does he date the Rita character in the book, or is that just for the TV show?
Yeah, he marries her in the book.
Okay.
Of the books, there's 7 of them at the moment.
Yeah.
And, she didn't die like she did on TV, which is cool because, like, for the next year, every place I went around the world, people were pissed off at me. How could you kill Rita? I didn't kill her.
And when I post this interview, I should warn people, spoilers, right?
Yeah. So I'm being careful about that. I'm not going to talk about the recent book, which is called Dexter's Final Cut. And it is available in fine bookstores everywhere. And some shitty bookstores, too. So.
If you get a used copy, make sure to put, like, a black light over it first.
There you go.
Yeah. Out of curiosity, I know you said it's your cousin-in-law, but have you ever met Marielle Hemingway?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we've hung out with her. She's really a nice person. And, aside from being, I think, a pretty good actress, she's a nice person, which is, to me, more important. So.
Yeah. Yeah, I know she's like a vegan, right?
Yeah, and she does hours and hours of yoga every day.
Yeah. So, like, when you first wrote Dexter, like, what was the inspiration for it?
I was asked to go to a Kiwanis businessmen's luncheon and talk about the importance of the arts, like read at least one book before you die, that kind of shit. And I was sitting up there looking out at a room filled with, cheap lawyers and realtors and bail bondsmen. And they're all talking with food in their mouth and handing out cards and giving each other these horrible, phony smiles. And the idea just came to me that serial murder is not always a bad thing. So I started writing notes about, what do I mean by that? And I went home with an outline of the first book.
And in the book, there's a lot of a lot of it is based on police and police work and stuff. So, and then I was wondering, and kind of similarly, The Wire is kind of like that. So, is there a lot of relation between you and David Simon as far as just your backgrounds? Or?
No, I've never met him. And as a matter of fact, nothing against him. I've just never seen The Wire.
Oh, really?
I don't watch a lot of TV. I don't have time.
So that, I guess you don't watch Walking Dead and stuff?
No, see, I get, I still got kids at home. So the only time I really get to watch TV is if there's a football game on. Other than that, I kind of watch what everybody else wants to watch, or what's not inappropriate with, a kid who might come around the corner and see, oh my God, boobies, and they're cutting them off. Ah.
What's your favorite NFL team?
Unfortunately, it's the Dolphins. And that's been a job of work the last couple of years.
What was the whole deal with the Incognito guy?
It occurred to me as the hysteria is mounting that the way he was talking to Jonathan Martin is pretty. I have a buddy who's a retired SEAL, and he calls me up and says the same kind of stuff to me. That's it's a guy thing, especially athletes and military people and like that. It's the way you talk to your friends. So he shouldn't have used that one terrible word, no. But it's the way guys talk to each other, So I think people overreacted to it. I'm not saying I'd hire Richie as a babysitter, but I don't think he's a bad guy.
Yeah. True. Yeah, it's just busting balls, I guess, for the most part.
Yeah, absolutely. Who doesn't do that?
Yeah. I'm new friends with you, and I'm sure we busted each other's balls already over email or Twitter or whatever.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So as far as the character Dexter, how much of you is Dexter?
Well, I've never killed anybody. But other than that, there's a lot. There's a thing where he's almost like an alien. He's looking around at this society that he's living in, but doesn't feel like he's a part of. And I've kind of always felt like that, just outsider. And the thing about kids, he likes kids, and that's me too. I can't even watch news stories about, 6 headless babies worth. I got to turn it off. I can't see that.
So you're not a fan of Robin's news segment?
Oh yeah, I always listen to that. Just if there's a story about kids in danger or dead or something, I put my fingers in my ears and go ah.
Yeah. Are you proud that Howard loves Dexter the show?
It's better than not, It's not something that's going to absolutely make my life or anything, but I'm glad he likes it.
Yeah. It's also I think other day he'll slip in references from the show. My dark passenger. It's kind of cool.
Right.
Yeah. Now it's part of the lexicon and stuff.
Yeah.
Are you an animal lover too?
Yes. We have rescue dogs, which sometimes drive you crazy because they shit everywhere. But most of them turn the corner, and they always have these weird tics, but they really do appreciate the love. So it's rewarding.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on Dexter now being on like Netflix and kind of getting a whole new audience via Netflix?
Yeah, I got Netflix. I think that's great too. Why not?
Mm-hmm.
The more, the merrier. The only thing I worry about is when like people get the DVD and sit and watch like one whole season in a weekend, and then they go out and these are the people you're seeing at rush hour this morning, and I don't like that. What's going on in there after a nonstop marathon of Dexter?
True. You working on like a new book right now? Or you said there's a new Dexter book that just came out, right?
Yes, Dexter's Final Cut, and it's the one about showbiz.
Mm. Gotcha.
And I'm working on another one, and a couple other projects too.
You've written plays and screenplays and like more than just books, right?
Yeah, I like to claim I've written one of everything.
True. Yeah, that was kind of in my little notes. You're seemingly a jack of all trades.
Not all trades. I mean, I can't balance the checkbook or anything. But I have, written a lot of different things. I was, I was writing what they call industrial movies for a while too. And, advertisements, anything. Everything I did in my life, I kind of ended up back at writing. Like I was an actor in a repertory company, and they went, oh shit, we're going to do a new play, but the guy died. Can you write one for us? So I was a playwright. And when I was doing comedy, the other comics would say, hey, can you help me write my act? So now I'm writing again. And just, everything. It eventually led back to that. So eventually I gave up the fight and just did that.
I think like Stephen King, he suggests that if you want to be a professional writer, you should write at least 4 hours a day. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, and, you don't always get anything done, but you got to show up like it's a real job. And if you don't do anything but move the paper clips around, well, you're doing it in your office, at the writing desk. So you got to do that.
True. When the book was turned into like a show and it became a hit show, I mean, was that the biggest thrill, or just having it published in the first place was the biggest thrill?
Well, I didn't really think it would get published at all. And when it did, and, with a real publisher and all of that, that was wonderful. And then when they said they wanted to do a TV show of it, yeah, that was really cool. There's no question about that. It makes a big difference. Among other things, any friends you have who are writers are now horribly jealous of you. That's always fun.
The show had got such a good reception too. So I mean, the worst would be they make a TV show and then it gets canceled in one season and then that's that.
Well, yeah, but that's what I was expecting, honestly. And each turn of the story, that when there's more success, the only thing I can think is, what the hell's wrong with people? Why do they want to? Why do they care about this crap? The guy's a killer. Like, everywhere I go, oh, I love him so much. Really? What's wrong with you?
Yeah. Certain actors that were cast, like, were there ones you liked and ones you didn't like?
Before the thing started, when they were casting, I wanted Johnny Depp. That was before he did Tonto. So, and I thought it should be a movie. But once we got into it, and I saw what Michael Hall did, I love his work in it. I think he was wonderful. I can't imagine anybody else now. Everybody was a surprise in some way. The character of Angel is very different from the way it's written in the book. But David Dias is a terrific actor, too. So it just finds its own groove. It got to the point by the second season, I was just watching a show, and I'd see my name on the screen based on, and I go, oh, wait, yeah, that's my show. But it's not like that was in my head the whole time. I was just watching a good TV show.
Yeah. Do you have any thoughts on, I know Michael C. Hall dated his sister in real life. Do you have any thoughts on that whole thing? I mean, they got married, I guess, but do you have any thoughts on that whole thing?
On them getting married?
Yeah.
No, I mean, they're both nice people, and there's no reason not. And, even when they were shooting the pilot, they were together an awful lot. So, in a way, they kind of looked right together. You know what I mean? Like you see a couple that's been married for a while or should get married or whatever, and it just, they looked right together at the time. So,
yeah. Or like, would you have a favorite season of the show?
Oh, yeah, probably the Trinity Killer one. I think if I wrote that as a book, it would never get printed. It's, God, that's dumb. But when you get somebody like Lithgow doing it, it's not dumb. It's brilliant. And so, I loved it. It was terrific.
True. One more Howard Stern question. Do you have like a favorite whack packer?
No, I don't know. I mean, they all got something different to offer. So it just kind of depends who's hot this week, I guess.
True. When you get a chance, you should check out my Beetlejuice interview, because I actually managed to do an in-person interview with Beetlejuice, which is pretty funny. Oh, yeah. Is that online? Yeah, that's on YouTube. If you just put Beetlejuice Shabooty, it'll come up. It was right after, it was for comedic purposes, but anyway, it was after it was after the whole Haiti earthquake thing, so then I basically got Beetlejuice thoughts on the whole Haiti tragedy, But anyway, long story short, on YouTube it has 100,000 views, so it ended up pretty good. Yeah, that's good. True. All right, Jeff, it was great talking to you, and again, keep in touch. I will. Thanks, man. Okay. Take care. Bye.
This is Jeff Lindsay. You are checking out Shabooty on Shabooty.com.